Yeah, sometimes you can keep those secrets for a day, a week, a month, or a year, but then you have a little alcohol in you, and oopsie, Davi.
I've known my husband for a decade. We have been married for 6 years. In September, I think it's 6. It might not be.
After
but
a while,
I'll
you do start to lose track.
Like, wait a minute. I know I've known him for 10 years. 10 years! He saw me naked probably the first time, like, 10 years ago, and we're all drinking at my sister with her boyfriend. We're hanging out. The drinks are flowing. All of the things are flowing. It was a great time. And then somehow the topic of tattoos came up, and I was talking about being interested in getting some removed or covered up at some point. I've got a whole side piece over here. I got a little guy over here, song lyrics, all this stuff. But the side piece is kind of like I didn't think, and we can't call it a side piece anymore, can we?
Oh, yeah, that's kind of...
That's taking on a new meaning. Okay, so like I have tattoos on my ribs.
Yeah. I got a rib piece.
Yeah, and I don't have a side piece, so don't tell my husband that. So I have all these tattoos on my side, and I didn't really have like a visual for it ahead of time. I just kept adding crap. So now I'm like, oh, it's cluttered. I would like to fix it or have them all removed. And I'm talking all kinds of mad crap about this side, like everything on my rib cage and on my side. And my sister's like, oh, no, you don't want to remove them. But they do make lotions for that now. You don't have to go get the laser treatment that hurts a lot and like discolors your skin. And we're talking about it. And she's like, which one would you get rid of first? And I was like, well, and my husband was like, all of them. And I was like, what's that? And he's like, especially the song lyrics. And I was like, what? So I was literally talking about just adjusting this side. And he's like, all of them. And I'm like, you hate my tattoos? He's like, no, I don't even notice them anymore. I'm like, but you want them gone. Like, you're such a liar right now. So he had just too much to drink and then just like let all the secrets come out. So my sister's like, so you don't, like, your qualm is not so much with the big one. Your qualm is the little song lyrics. And he's like, I don't like them. And I was like, is it because it's someone else's band and someone else's song? And he's like, no. And they're all like, that's what it is.
Because your husband's in a band.
Yeah, my husband's in a band called Davi Crimmins and the Hookers, and he's an amazing lyricist. But he is like so pressed about this tattoo on my side that I got when I was 18.
It's Hanson, right?
No.
Yeah, it says
Mbop.
It's Mbop.
The lyrics are Mbop on your ribs.
All down the ribs?
Like, we did a bit once where Kristen was like, go home and surprise your significant other and say if I was kidnapped. Murdered, like, what would be the identifying markers? So all of our, like, spouses had to figure out, like, what's their scars? And my husband's like, she's got a tattoo on her upper vagina. And I was like, that is not where it is. It is on my hip, sir. Like, what are you talking about?
Where is it?
How big do you think my vagina is? That's insane. It was so crazy to me, but I didn't know he was that upset about it until he was drunk, and he's like, I hate it. And I was like, what the? It's not Mbop. It's Sister Hazel. And it says, when you glow, which is like when you stand out. It's not a bad thing. And it's a really lovely song, but it's like the dorkiest band from the 90s. And he hates these song lyrics on my hip, but he's always pretended like, your tattoos don't bother me. I don't even see them. I don't see them. And I'm like, okay. And then 10 years into our relationship, he's drunk as hell. And he's like, I hate him, especially that one, which was the only one I wanted to keep.
What did he feel like he could say it since you are talking about having them removed?
I was talking about over here. I have a tape deck. That's the stupidest tattoo of all time. Okay? Why don't I get an 8-track or an iPod? Like, no, that's dumb. Yes, a Nano on my side. Why did I do this? So, like, at some point, I was like, I'm going to get a record player and a microphone and some headphones and all of that. I got the headphones.
You gonna get a whole studio?
Yeah. I got the headphones, and then I went with a tape. Like, with the tape coming out, it's dumb. So I'm like, maybe I'll get that one removed, and maybe the other ones I'll jazz up a little bit. And he's like, all of them, no, especially the Sister Hazel ones. And I'm like, it's when you glow in little fireflies. What do you got against my fireflies? Those are adorable.
And now the pressure is on now. So are you going to keep it, or now you almost have to get rid of it?
I know.
But
I feel weird.
I also know that you don't like to be told what to do.
I don't. So I'm thinking about getting bigger. Like a bigger tattoo. I'm like, I'm going to get them covered up, but bigger. So yeah, I was just like, but after 10 years for a secret to come out like that. And my favorite part is while we're arguing and my sister's like, oh no, what have I done? I hear the song shift, like we had music playing in the background. My sister's boyfriend went on Spotify and he looked up Sister Hazel. So,
Well played.
so like my
Well
husband
played.
and I are yelling on their patio at each other at like 1 a.m, and then you hear, it's hard to say what it is I see in you. Wonder if I'll always be with you. And I was like, oh my God.
No.
And it made the fight so much worse, but he had the giggles. I don't know. I'm still kind of floored.
Are you going to,
I'm talking about, yes, I would like to get them removed, but I understand it's very painful,
Yeah.
very expensive process. And if you have blues and greens and yellows and oranges, that doesn't come out. Like darker colors come out the best.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what's the point of leaving these blues and greens so I'll just look like a bruised broad at every beach I go to?
Can't you just put like some gauze over it and just wear that all the time? Like
All the
you-
time, like
you've
I've
just had-
always road rashed. Like I ride motorcycles. No, I don't think I can pull that off, honestly. But I could get them covered up. Maybe I'll talk to Kaylee about some
Yeah.
of his tattooed friends, and
Yeah.
maybe I could get something going. But it's an adventure.
I'll YouTube it. I'll buy something this weekend. We
Okay,
could do this
thanks,
Monday morning.
Bert.
Yeah, I get this done in about
Knock it out.
15
So
minutes.
you have to swaddle me, and you have to cover up
That's
my
right.
tattoos.
At
We
the
have
same
a couple.
time.
he YouTubed my C-section and did it for me, so
No
I'm
problem.
sure he could do your tattoo removal.
Yeah.
I do not remember that.
This is The Bert Show.